Some of you may have seen some of these funky, fresh Linux Penguin shirts around Flock. And now you're going to hear a little bit more about these. Please give a hand for Troy Dawson.
Hello, I'm Troy Dawson. This is how to open source a shirt. How do you open source a shirt? I've been wearing Hawaiian shirts since I was very young. As you see here, I was 20 years old. I was wearing Hawaiian shirts, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, and now I'm dating myself. And also, if you look at one of those, I did have hair at one point. Okay, I've also liked to do distributions. I've made Fermi Linux, Scientific Linux, Your Linux, which was, after 2 years, I had one user, so we sort of canned that. CentOS Stream now and Red Hat Enterprise Linux. You might notice the Your Linux symbol looks a little bit like what's on my shirt right now. The Linux Penguin is, this particular one is licensed under the Creative Commons Attributions version 3 and also version 4. I always wanted to put a Hawaiian shirt on it because I like Hawaiian shirts. And so I did when I was making Your Linux, and I made our logo that looks like this, and I gave it the exact same thing because A, legally, I think I have to, and B, because I want to. I really like open source. And then I created more of them, different designs, and then different colors of different designs because, you know, as we saw the designer things, that's just what you do. Now, my brother at this time was making Arizona shirts. They're sort of like Hawaiian shirts, but they got cactuses and roadrunners on them. And he says, hey, I'll make you a Hawaiian shirt out of your penguin. And his designer did that, and so they did this. And his person made me a shirt out of it, and it was cool, and it was purple, and I do not have it. Usually I would yank up a shirt like this and go, da-da-da, it's a purple shirt, but it's not that shirt. So then I took his design and I says, you know, I can make my own designs. So I can start making other shirts. I can make them like with stripes, and I can make them like this, and I don't have any of these on the sides. But I could license those other two, but I had a problem. License those other two, but I had a problem with the pink one there, or actually it was the purple one there, because his designer had designed it. So I went to his designer and I says, hey, can I buy that from you? And he says, yeah. He says, I do that all the time. He says, here, pay me this much money. And I paid him that much money, and then I owned it, and I could open source to license it. And I did put his name. It's in the attribution for these. These are all actually up on GitHub. Now, shirts, designs versus patterns. This is a design. This is a pattern. A pattern is what you use to cut things out, and it gives you that thing. So during the talk, if I get it mixed up, yell at me. But designs and patterns. Patterns are harder to open source because pattern software is terribly expensive. And so that's where I had a problem. It's like, I really want to open source this entire shirt, not just the design. And coding pattern software is really expensive, and it's mostly proprietary. At the time I started this, there was two open source ones. There's Valentina and Seamly. Seamly's just a fork of Valentina. They were both okay. I found out early on that I cannot do patterns. I am terrible at that. My mind cannot wrap around it. So what else can you do if you can't do patterns? Oh, wait, there's other ones since then that are actually more reasonably priced, but they're still expensive, but I still can't do patterns. Clo is one of them. It's a cool 3D thing that if you do the design, it shows up on a thing. I thought that would help. It didn't. Okay. Okay, so the third thing is just like my design, I can pay somebody to do it. And at the time, I was ignorant of the fashion industry, and I paid somebody to do it. It's expensive. Oh, let's stay on this slide. It's expensive. I'll let you know it cost me $2,000 to make a pattern for myself. You know, you can go down to the store, you can buy them for $10, $15, maybe even $20 for the expensive ones. Yeah, $2,000. But I could open source it, and I did open source it. It's up on my GitHub thing. And it also had all the gradients and all that stuff. So if you want a shirt pattern, the shirt pattern that I use these, you can go to my GitHub stuff. But I found a third thing after I'd done that, freesorin.org. Go there. It is a great place. I don't have time for for Lightning Talk to do this because I'm already on 5 minutes. Go there, support them. They are great. I then did a Kickstarter. It didn't work. Wait, I'm supposed to hold up the red shirt and then the pink shirt. I don't have either of those shirts. But let's go to the next one. Hold up the blue shirt. No, not. Anyway, after the Kickstarter failed, I says, hey, how about I just do it myself? And so I practiced and practiced until I felt right. This is an example. What am I saying? Every shirt I've been wearing today, this whole week has been an example of those. I also got a better sewing machine and all that. My wife was very kind in letting me invest in. Sewing machines can be expensive if you get them right. And now they're up on Etsy. Now I can hold up the red shirt. And I hold up the other red shirt, which is not this red shirt. But make sure you do samples of your fabric, because this red shirt and the red shirt that we originally had in our Kickstarters are two totally different colors, even though they have the exact same design sent to them. What else do I got? Oh, trademarks. What about trademarks? You guys have seen the Fedora shirts coming around. You saw me with the CentOS shirt. If I do not sell them, I can go ahead and make them. But if I have to sell them, then I got to get permissions. You got to get permissions from the trademark vendors. I do have permissions from Fedora. I do have permissions from OpenSource. I do not yet have permissions from the CentOS board, but I'm on the CentOS board, so I'm hoping that it doesn't take too long. In conclusion, I've done my best open source shirt. I've open sourced the designs. I've open sourced the patterns. I have links to buy fabrics. So if those of you want to make, there's 2 people here that want to make dresses out of this. Actually, one already has. You can buy the fabric. Thank you.